Hello everyone and welcome back to Ancardia with your guide to surviving Ancient Domains and Mysteries roguelike mode. I'm your host Ziegander and we're going to get back into our sort of introductory tutorial playthrough with the character Ziegander, who's doing very well. We last left off, we had just entered the Caverns of Chaos, and we're gonna make our way towards Dwarf Town. So, the Caves of Chaos are not really very challenging. They're going to be a lot like what you have encountered, let's say, in the Starter Dungeon and the Village Dungeon. I honestly could have gone here a little earlier. I just wanted to show you guys more what I recommend you do as a beginner player. Running up on a lot of loose stones. These are arrow traps or spear traps. If I press Control T, it'll trigger the trap. A squeaking sound. I guess that's all it was. That's weird. That one's new to me. Hope everyone's had a good couple of days. I'm going to be updating this series every day with a new hour-long chapter. Found a secret door. Do I want to kick it down? No. Even though I have 100 health, you may not have quite so much health at level 7. And I don't recommend, at this stage in the game, I really don't recommend kicking down doors like that. I have been encowed this entire time. Let's stay normal. 16 defense, 16 protection. With that amount of protection, there's really nothing in here that can hurt us. Aside from, like, spellcasters. See, look at this chieftain. Kobold Chieftain is actually a fairly tough low-level enemy. The fact that we have 16 protection makes him kind of not a joke, because I had to attack him like 8 times, but... Alright, and then in the Caves of Chaos... No, it's dark. In the darkness, so there are rooms that are just filled with darkness. There you go. You have to just kind of wander around until maybe you find a wand of light or an amulet of light, maybe even. You can find stuff laying on the ground and you just pick it up because you don't know what it is because you can't see. I hate rooms of darkness. Well, that was a quick level. Obviously, there's some kind of secret door, probably in the dark room, which is just another reason to hate dark rooms. Yeah, there you go. I am just going to go ahead and go down. There's not a lot exciting in the Caves of Chaos, especially in the first several floors. So you're just trying to make your way down. A solemn aura permeates this area. I'm not 100% sure what that means. It may mean that there is an altar on this floor. I suppose we'll find out. We've got herbs. So this will be potentially your first encounter with herbs. Some kind of herb bushes seem to be growing in this spot. Now, I opted for the healing skill, remember, and not the herbalism skill. I didn't do the druid quest. You can get the herbalism skill, but it's not 100% necessary. When you go about collecting herbs, you just go over it and press P to pick up, just like you would loot from the ground. When they turn like this, though, it usually takes more than one picking, but since I don't have the herbalism skill, it makes me worse at collecting herbs than a character who would, for example. It also makes all of my herbs cursed, and it just means that I won't even know what the herbs do or are until I use them. Or until I identify them in some special magical manner, which I'll get into another time. Now, herbs will grow in formations. Obviously, these herbs have nowhere else to grow other than this, one by one line. And for these, I'm just going to pick them until they're completely picked down. But there are certain formations that you want to allow to flourish, and what I mean by that is, like if you run into a formation of 4 herbs in a square, 4 herb bushes in a square, you want to pick those until they get to that point where it looks like the bush is like halfway completely gone. Leave them in that state, and they will regrow, and you can continue to harvest herbs from that formation. A formation of herbs in a square like that give you the best chance of gaining, honestly, the best herbs in the game, all of the best herbs in the game. You can get Stomophilia herb, which automatically makes you satiated or even bloated if it's blessed. They're incredibly light and very good food source. You can also get Stomacemptia, and that makes you immediately vomit and makes you hungry immediately. That is handy for eating like monster corpses. Less handy for keeping yourself alive, but it can help you in case you're looking for a special bonus from a monster corpse, and a corpse from a monster such as that drops. What is this upstairs? Hold on. Interesting. You feel excited. Now this is something I've not seen. So if I check to show last messages, if I press this over here, it'll show me you feel excited. That message played when I entered this level. That means there is a lesser vault on this floor. As a beginner, I don't necessarily recommend you go trying to tackle vaults, but you can take a look at what they are. This space in here is very likely to be a vault. And you can see my cursor changes from a gauntleted hand to a boot. That means there's space to walk around in there. So this is very likely to be the vault. Oh, ghost bat. We have a bat vault. That'd be weird. I've never seen a bat vault. No, maybe this isn't the vault. No. You'll be able to tell, and I'll show you what the distinctive vault shape looks like. This is a corruption trap. Try to avoid them if you can. Corruption is an enemy over time. It will grant you mutations that turn your character into a horrible Cthulhu monster. Most of them are very bad. A lot of them you can live with, but some of them can be totally game-ending. Crippling enough that you need to get rid of it or you will lose the game. We've got what looks like a goblin vault here. So you can see goblins are just pouring out at me. Goblins would be the easiest vault to find. Yeah, okay. Up in here is the vault then. If you run into a goblin vault and you're a relatively sturdy melee character, or say you've got like a bow and several arrows, you're probably fine to go ahead and attempt to take it out. That scale mail is likely to be better than my chainmail. In fact, so what the mechanics of a vault, what makes them different than a tension room, for example. Vaults are utterly filled with monsters, but they also have higher item generation rate and give you higher level items for your trouble. So I will go ahead and clear this. What do I have on my missile slot? 19 rocks. Might as well start training missile combat. Let him get a little closer to us here. Oh, level 8. Now, let's see. What do we want to put points into? Dodge, for sure. I want to get that to 60. And then... oh, healing, duh. I forgot we had the healing skill. Don't let me make that mistake again. A glass wand is a wand of light. Now, I'm picking up a bunch of amulets that honestly I don't know what they are. And there's very little... very few ways to know what they are without putting them on or identifying them in some other manner. You want to keep yourself, when you're fighting this many enemies, don't just rush in and get surrounded. Fight one at a time. Keep yourself safe even if you're really powerful in melee like this character. You want to keep yourself safe. Crits can come at you from any direction at any time. Whoops. And wreck your day. As you can see, we got one additional point of defense by raising dodge. Pixie's trying to attack us from behind. She just robbed me. Alright, I'm going to go berserk on her. We're getting a lot of amulets, and that's cool. Now, if I eat that pixie corpse, I'm not going to. If I did, I could gain an intrinsic quality called teleportitis. If you've watched any of my recent Karthus playthroughs of this game, he's gotten stuck with teleportitis without teleport control. It's not fun. It teleports you around all over the place. And it teleports you somewhere random. If you have teleport control, it can be very, very good. But there are few ways to gain teleport control. One of them being killing a lawful monster called a blink dog and hoping it drops the corpse without dropping your alignment to chaotic. Another of those methods is a wish, and yet another is there's actually, I think, an amulet. It's either an amulet or a ring, but I think it's an amulet that is just an amulet of teleport control. That is relatively rare. If you happen to have the fortune of coming across one of those, there are obviously better amulets to wear, but that's one of the most consequence-free methods of gaining teleport control. And so, these vaults are always going to look like a big, squared-off area. They usually have a path around them. They often have one or two secret doors that lead from the rest of the main dungeon into it, but they always have one open entrance. Now, this wasn't a secret door. This was just an open entrance. An iron ring. Iron rings can be great, also can be incredibly bad. So you never want to try to just equip and identify what an iron ring is or does just by putting it on. All of these amulets, I'm not complaining. That's actually awesome. I've seen a couple that could potentially be very rare amulets. But again, we need to make sure we know what they are and what they do before we go trying to put them on and get ourselves doomed or put on a cursed amulet that like halves my strength value. That'd be terrible. That was cool. I'm not sure what this floor... Whoa. Whoops. And we got a bow. So, I came here from dungeon level 3, and it took me up to dungeon level 2 but to a different dungeon level 2, because I already went through dungeon level 2. Weird. Secret door? Yep. Cool. Okay. I don't know if that's actually always been in the Caves of Chaos and I just missed it. Where, Jackal? I started up an assassin last night just for fun, trying to do a different kind of like mage, warrior mage kind of character. And at level 1, I got ambushed by a pack of jackals. And there were a lot of jackals, and there was also a jackalware. And I managed to kill the jackalware at level 1 with thrown daggers. And then there were so many jackals, and I was running away from them, just repositioning and trying to stay alive when I encountered another jackalware who summoned more jackals, and it was a bad time. Now this statue, these are randomly occurring things. I got a message, and I should have said something, but I forgot what it was at the time. And it's too far back to show you now, but I got a message when I first went into this floor that said, you feel excited for something that's about to happen, or something like that. That means that there's a statue on the floor somewhere, and statues can be incredible. So let's find out what this one is by walking over the space. You discover a memorial statue dedicated to an ancient hero of Ancardian lore. You face the statue of Zark Almchoti Ibsue, a mist-elven archmage. He is adorned with the rune of elemental water. He is said to have been part of the adventuring party that 6 millennia ago defeated chaos. At least that's your recollection from an old fairy tale. If you pray to this statue, and I've gone into piety mechanics already, if you pray to your god, it will cost you piety points, which are like a hidden value. And I could get like a full heal or whatever. I could do several things with that. If you pray on a statue square of one of the ancient heroes of Ancardian lore, it won't cost you any piety, and it will bless you. Do you want to pray to the statue of a legendary hero? Yes, and now I'm blessed. You can actually stack that. The blessing is temporary, but what it does, it makes you more effective against undead. It gives you, I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe it gives you resistance against the attacks of undead, but it also skews the random number generator internal rolls of the game in your favor. So you want to take a few turns praying to this statue. Every time you pray, it will increase the duration. I do it about 7 times. But now we know it's not going to go anywhere. So at dungeon level 3 of the Caves of Chaos, we've got an easily accessible statue, an easy source of temporary blessing. And that is a very good thing. Just another reason why this run with Ziegander is going very well. And see, now we have, and I was hoping this would happen, we have a stable square of herbs. So I'm going to pick until the herbs are about halfway down, just like that. And now I'm going to leave them alone, and they will regrow. And whatever they are, I can continue to harvest them. Okay, you smell the fragrance of sweat and blood. This is the arena level. This is a good way to make money in the early game. It's a good way to make money into the mid-game, honestly. But for now, you want to deal with this gelatinous cube with ranged attacks. Gelatinous cubes will corrode your equipment. If they attack you, they can corrode your armor or your shield. If you attack them with a melee weapon, they can corrode your melee weapon. And they typically only corrode iron, but I believe they can corrode mithril and even adamantium. So I'm not going to take a chance at it. I've still got 19 rocks. Let's go berserk and throw those rocks until the cube is smashed. You want to do it even if it gets up in your face like that. Just keep throwing rocks or using your bow. In fact, let me check on my... How many arrows do I have? We have quite a few arrows. Let's switch to the bow I picked up. Hopefully these bows aren't cursed. Okay, good. They're not. And we'll switch to the 32 arrows. Just better damage and better range. How did my... I now have 17 protection value. How did that go up? Maybe my shield skill went up? No. Interesting. I don't know where I got that extra protection value. We've got to kick this door down, unfortunately. Luckily it wasn't... Oh, it was trapped, but we avoided the flash trap. For now, I am not going to... If you go over here and explore, you can find the arena. I wouldn't recommend it for new players. What you're looking for is on dungeon level... Well, as a dwarf, it should be on dungeon level 9, but as another character, it's going to be on dungeon level... Another race, dungeon level 10. Dwarves get to find it one level higher. Once you're 10 floors down into any dungeon, you will start getting background corruption every few steps. Dwarves get to make it to Dwarf Town without getting any background corruption, which is just a nice little handout kind of thing. Whoops, what the... There we... Oh, is there an arrow trap? Yep. Box with flint and steel. I suppose we can sell that. Equipment becomes smelly. Oh, I was carrying a corpse around. Whoops. What was I carrying around? Oh, the pixie corpse. Right. I don't want to eat that. I wonder if I could make it down to Dwarf Town before it rots, though. Because it would be a good idea if I sell it to the merchant in Dwarf Town, it will never rot. It's not actually rotten yet. I'm going to try to do that. We're only a few floors away. Yep. Oh. This room looks like a spa with a mud bath. You are hit in the face by a glob of hot mud. Suddenly, everything disappears. You can press F to wipe your face. You have to press Shift F. Until you do, you will be blind. And now, okay, this is a quite dangerous level. This is the huge cavern. Most people call it the big room. It's just a wide open room. It has very high monster generation. It's easy to get surrounded and overwhelmed here. Even with my 17 protection, it could be dangerous. I should be fine. But it could still be dangerous, especially with these two claw bugs. Now this right here is a doppelganger. You want to kill this thing as fast as you can. It will confuse you. So I'm going to go berserk and hit it. And keep trying to hit it. There we go. I'm going to go coward. And as you can see, there's already so many monsters. I don't know if we've avoided killing cats in this playthrough. I know I've mentioned what they do. I think we killed cats just because it's not worth trying to get the cat ring as a new player. Your goal, honestly, should be get as far into the game as you can, learn as much as you can. See that I just took 5 damage despite having 17 protection value. Get as far into the game as you can, learn as much about the game as you can. Herbs often grow in the big room. Here's another... Oh, I was going to say that was a stable square. I'm not sure what happened there, honestly. Sometimes the herbs do shift around. And I don't know the mechanics behind that exactly. In this room, the first time you get to it... Oof, 23 damage. That's an ogre mage. It's actually quite unlucky to run into that at level 8. Ogre mages are obviously ogres that can cast spells. They can also turn invisible, and they cast a very brutal cold bolt spell. If you run into one like this, berserk and attack it and deal as much damage to it as you can. Luckily, it didn't cast any more cold bolts. You saw that first one did like 30 damage. We are now level 9 though, and we're doing okay. So I'm going to keep increasing healing You can only max to 36, that's okay. We'll keep increasing that as much as we can. Let's see if I can get Find Weakness to 60. Not even close, alright. We do have a talent to pick now, and let's see, I can get Steel Skin, or... Oh, I didn't pick up Healthy yet. 2 more protection value is really good, but more health regeneration is also really good. I think I'm going to go with the health regeneration. My movements are getting swifter. That is just because of athletics. My dex just increased. So that's cool. Let's get back to normal tactic. For this, I was starting to say before I ran into the Ogre Mage. For this room, I recommend most of the time just going Coward. Eat when you need to, though. Ogres are very filling. Go Coward, unless you get super surrounded, like I'm about to be. Before you get surrounded, try to take something out quickly. Cave lizards are pretty tough. You may want to actually prioritize something a little squishier like the bandit, just so you aren't surrounded. The more surrounded you are, the higher the bonus to enemy attack and damage rolls they get. Now I'm starting to get surrounded again, so I'm going to go Berserk, try to take out the bugbear, the dog, the goblin, and I'm going to go Coward again. And try to find the downstairs. Luckily we just found it. Oof, it's blocked. We got to take that monster out. Take the shadow out as fast as you can. Shadows can drain your stats. So let's get... Oof, we're starting to get hit here. Let's get these stairs cleared. Let's go Coward. Go down the stairs. The enemies will come with you, but now you're no longer in the big room. So monster generation has gone way down. You shudder. That's a message. I don't know what that means. It's probably not good, but we've got to keep on keeping on. So go Berserk. Let's take out... The most dangerous enemy seems to be the Griffin. Let's take out the Bandit, then the Griffin, then the Gnoll, then the Hippogriff, then the Cave Lizard. Okay, doing good. Let's return to normal. Pick up the necklace, pick up the light red potion, and eat the Hippogriff corpse. How's our Pixie corpse? Pixie corpse is still doing good. I'm very surprised. We got to kick this door down. Let's open this one. Okay, good. Downstairs are right here. That's fantastic. We're only 1 floor away. Level is filled with a strange smell. You hear the clicking sound of many small feet. Many small feet, that means there's ants on this level. Ants are actually a very welcome sight. Or sound. What makes ants good? Your equipment suddenly seems to weigh less. That means the pixie is likely rotted away, unfortunately. Yeah, pixie's gone. What makes ants a welcome sound is ant warriors. Oh, the strange item. We will pick that up and I will tell you what that is in just a moment. Ant warrior corpses, when eaten, I think have a 100% chance to give you inherent acid resistance. Even if it's not a 100% chance, it's a good chance and you'll fight a bunch of them. I usually say if you got about 10 or more protection value, you're safe to take out an anthill. And it's always a good idea early on because acid resistance is one of the stronger resistances. And you want to try... Hey, a climbing set. That's fairly rare and a good find. You want to accumulate as many resistances early on in the game as you can. I believe dwarves are inherently poison resistant, but resistance also stacks. And so if you can accumulate as many resistances as you can become virtually immune to elemental attacks. Aha! Here we found a lawful altar. Not a huge find because one floor down, there's going to be one in Dwarf Town. What I want to find is the anthill to try and get some acid resistance. Definitely recommend, if you've got the protection value to handle it, taking down the anthills. There's also a guaranteed anthill in the Puppy Cave, level 2. That is generally a safe thing, again, if you have about 10 or more protection value before you enter the cave, before you start worrying about fighting the ants. Ants, oh, yikes. We just lost a point of protection value and defense. So the Hellhound breathed fire. I know I mentioned in the last episode, and it burned my short bow, that elemental damage can damage your equipment. It can damage your equipped equipment, but it can also damage your carried items in your backpack. That was pretty rough. We do have a backup bow. We do not... Oh, we do have a backup helmet. I'm not going to put it on, though, until... we've found the anthill. I'm not going to put that helmet on until we've gone down to Dwarf Town. We're very close to Dwarf Town, so no harm, no foul. A rock with metal veins is ore, and that's useful for smithing. As a dwarf fighter, it's highly likely that you could get into that later in the game. I've never done it, but I've read reports about how incredibly powerful they are. Or smithing is, sorry. You can improve... So here's a giant ant warrior. You can improve equipment by adding defense and protection value to armor. A water snake, wow. That was actually a fairly strong enemy to find. Their poison is ridiculously powerful. Somehow the Ant Queen is already out and she's mad at her own ants. That doesn't bode well. That makes it very unlikely that we will get to see an Ant Warrior corpse. But see, look at that. 9 damage through my 16 protection value. You want to make sure that you can take care of these monsters. I don't want to get overwhelmed here, especially with the Ant Queen in play. I'm going to retreat some. Take down the Ant Queen, because she hits very hard and has quite a lot of health. Alright, and now we've got a couple... That's an Ant Worker, but that doesn't give me the acid resistance. We've got a couple warriors left. Hopefully one of them drops their corpse here. No go. I'm going to eat this and see what happens. Your stomach tingles. I think that is actually acid resistance, so that's good. This vile stuff makes you throw up. Your stomach tingles. That is the message you're looking for if you're trying to get acid resistance, as far as I know. We've got a potion on the ground in here. We've got some more ore on the ground, and we've reached level 10. We're doing very well so far. Let's see, we've got healing over 40. We can get find weakness to 80. Wow. We can also get athletics to 80. Let's try to get find weakness to 60 at least. Wow. It'll get there by itself eventually. Find weakness increases itself. So these sparkly rocks are ore. That's a rock with metal veins, so we don't know what that one is. And that's another different rock with metal veins. Oh, and another one. Wow. They were all 3 different colors. So one of them was likely mithril. The other one was likely adamantium. We know what iron ore looks like. So honestly, the only other metal I can think of in this game is eternium. And that's the best metal in the game. So an eternium, a piece of eternium ore is a pretty cool find. Minotaur corpse, don't eat. It will confuse you and do nothing else beneficial. Those floating eyeballs, kill them with ranged attacks like you would a gelatinous cube. Not that they can corrode your equipment, but if you kill them with melee attacks, don't know why. If you kill them with melee attacks, though, they will paralyze you. And that's not good. You definitely don't want to be paralyzed in the middle of a dungeon. So let's go ahead and head down to Dwarf Town now. Oh, we are hungry. Alright. Luckily we've got some rations. Some of those herbs probably are stomophilia, but they're all going to be cursed, and I don't want to start playing around. Okay, wow, we are not in Dwarf Town. We're still one more away. Well, take everything I say with a grain of salt, I guess. I'm pretty sure that means that we're going to start taking background corruption in... Oh, a 14 stone metal ingot. That could be Eternium ingot. And an ingot is actually what you use to smith equipment. We've got another statue here. Soirana Trollbard, while in the midst of deadly singing, accompanied with bone-breaking clubbing. I don't know what that one does. I can't recommend you pray to that statue. That's interesting, though. There's a lot of little things like that sprinkled through this game. Way too much for me to have any chance of keeping track of, even after playing the game for 2 years. A distant wind is a vortex, so there's an elemental vortex nearby somewhere. That's not good. Hopefully, when we see it, we can dispatch it with ranged attacks. I'll go berserk and just try to hit it as hard as I can from a distance. Looks like we've got, yep, a Jackalware. He's summoning jackals. He will continue to do so until I kill him. There we go. I like to keep all of my spoils in a neat pile like that whenever I can. Distant wind, certain tension. So there's a tension room here too. There's... okay, but it's non-hostile for now. So what you can do, attacking it would be a chaotic act, but that would damage my alignment. What you can do though, target it and then move your cursor. This is a way to, quote, accidentally shoot a monster, and it doesn't harm your... I should have been berserk for that. It doesn't harm your alignment. Oh boy. Yep, 40 damage. And cold breaks glass, so it destroyed my slimy potion. As you can see, vortexes are no joke and should not be played around with. You gotta take them out when you can. Yikes. I don't like that trapsmith being in there. I'm going to try to get to him as fast as I can here. Of course, he's going to stay in the back. He hasn't laid any traps yet that I know of. Alright. He's down, but there's another one. Kobold Trapmaster rummages around its surroundings. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to back out. I'm not going to go in that room. I'm just going to let them come to me and kill them in the hallway. With that Trapmaster, I'm just not going to play around with his traps. I'm going to kill him right here. Yep, there we go. And just pick up all the treasure out here and not worry about what is in there. Unless I have to. Hopefully I don't have to. But it's possible the downstairs to Dwarf Town are in there. And that would be annoying. Oh boy, actually now that I'm looking at the map, it looks like they are, so just be careful, search a little bit. As you move through, he laid a trap somewhere. Oh, there we go, I discovered a light trap. Oh, I didn't discover that one. That's a pit trap. That's okay, it could have been a lot worse. Pit Viper is getting attacked by something. Oh, another Pit Viper. It got poisoned. Alright, so far so good. Oh, I found a stone block trap on that door. I did not know quasits could drain strength. Wow, okay. We're all learning something here. I've never, ever had my strength damaged by a quasit before in my life. That's rough. Critically hit, and I took 1 point of strength damage for it. That's rough. Well, now you know not to take quasits too for granted. Too much for granted. A trick door. That's an Eye of Destruction. That's not good. That will destroy my gear. And a ghost bat. I'm going to go berserk and try to kill it from range. Obviously that didn't work, so now I have to try to kill it in melee. Destroyed my gauntlets. I got aged. What am I, doomed or something? Oh man, I'm having a string of bad luck here. Interesting. I'm not sure how I would have been cursed or doomed. Normally, you don't get stat drained by such minor enemies like that, or have your gear destroyed, or get aged without being cursed. This is a dark orc. They can crit very hard. I guess we will see. If I'm cursed, he'll probably crit me for like 30 damage. Okay. Doing alright. The shadow can also drain your stats. So you want to try to berserk and take them down quickly from range when you can. I fell down the stairs because I am overly strained. Man, yeah, okay. We didn't get any dwarf luck making it to Dwarf Town. We're still not at Dwarf Town. We'll probably be taking background corruption here on level 10. That means Dwarf Town is not going to be until level 11, where we will definitely take background corruption. But this up here is a gray ooze. All oozes you want to take down from a distance. All oozes can corrode your equipment, and they will split like that and replicate. So you want to take them down quickly. Gotta kick it down. We're on a one-way trip to Dwarf Town here. So as you can see, even a character that I came in here with 17 protection value, even a character with that much protection can have quite a lot of trouble making it to Dwarf Town. So the first few floors are fine. Once you start to get past, yep, we're already getting background corruption. If you saw that message, that's background corruption. It's nothing really to worry about in the early game. The only time you have to start worrying about background corruption is late into the game. It corrupts you very, very, very slightly, very slowly over time. Corrupted. It would take a lot of background corruption to actually give you a concrete corruption that is an actual problem for you. Secret door? Yep. Locked. Alright, let's keep looking around. Character's hungry, so let's eat. Running out of food, and that's also a problem. And that will be one of your bigger problems in the early game. Ugh, jeez. Yikes. It killed the cave bear. Luckily it didn't destroy any of my gear. That would seem to indicate to me that I'm not cursed, and I just had a little string of bad luck there. A steel zombie. That's incredibly bad luck. That's a very high level monster. And I actually could be in quite a lot of trouble right now. I'm at about half health. A steel zombie can hit very hard, and they can take a lot of damage, and I don't deal much damage right now. Yikes. What do we got in our backpack? We need gauntlets and a helmet. We got all those amulets. I think I'm gonna go at this point. I'm gonna go ahead and put on one of these metal caps. I don't care if it's cursed, and I'm gonna go with the thick gauntlets. Well, they had a better chance of having more than one defense, but yeah, look at that, 13 damage twice. So now we're already past half health. We could be in quite a lot of trouble here. We could actually... This could be the end of the run, unfortunately. If it is, though, I'll start right back up and show you how to survive the early game as a wizard. This would be a very quick death, and it's atypical. Honestly, running into a steel zombie like this, I've never run into a steel zombie like this. In the 2 years that I've played this game, I've never run into a steel zombie in the Caverns of Chaos at level 10 before I've ever even reached Dwarf Town. So, if you're new to this game, I know you have to kind of take that with a grain of salt, because this is the only evidence of gameplay you have. But it's still, you want to make it to Dwarf Town. After you've done that first quest and leveled up a few times, your next stop is Dwarf Town. There's no other good progression to go with. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to try to attack him one time in Berserk and see what happens. See how badly he hurts me. Pretty severely, 25. I slightly damaged it, and you can see I may have hit it for like 3 damage. I should be able to survive one more round of those attacks. Unless he stuns me, and now I'm actually probably going to die. And I'm bleeding. Wow. Let's go Coward. And then now's when you want to pray to your deity. It's possible that Morrodwin, instead of healing me, will remove stunned, in which case I'm dead. We gotta find out. Press spacebar. Okay, full heal. I'm still stunned. That's good. But that means I'm gonna take a free round of attacks. Alright, he missed at Coward. What I'm tempted to do now is lead him into Dwarf Town. The downstairs to Dwarf Town can't be far. Oof. Even through Coward, he hit me for 24 damage. I feel like this is my best shot, though. Oh my lord, a Chaos Lizard. Okay, somehow I got away from him. I think a Steel Zombie can open doors, but I'm going to move forward, close this door on him. I unfortunately don't have any way to lock it. If I did, that'd be good. I'm going to stay Coward and keep moving. It looks like maybe the zombie can't open the door, but he obviously can just go around. But that buys us some time. What you want to do now is find the downstairs as fast as you can. That's a dangerous enemy even if you are 6, 7, 8 levels higher than this. I'm shocked to find it at this stage in the Caves of Chaos. Let's close both of these doors and go ahead and kill these guys and then go to Dwarf Town. That was crazy. Alright, I was afraid that was the steel zombie. Luckily it was not. Here we are in Dwarf Town. You enter a huge cavern which seems to be hewn from the stone. Several globes of bright light floating in the air illuminate the cave very efficiently. In the distance, beautiful stone buildings are scattered throughout the cavern. The workmanship is obviously of dwarven origin. You seem to have entered an ancient dwarven city. And there's a lot of stuff to do here. The first thing you want to do here is visit the shop. Waldenbrook, the dwarven shopkeeper, booms the same thing that they always boom. Take a look around, see what he's got. Mithril longsword. There's always going to be a mimic in here. Take down the mimic. Mimic can paralyze you, so you may want to berserk it down. Mithril longsword, gnomish candy, fancy clothes. So much. So far, the only thing that's really worth anything is this mithril longsword, and it's not even that great. Regular old spear, gauntlets of peace. Those are cursed gauntlets that give you a huge penalty to attack rolls. 3 to defense and protection is okay, but even if you're a wizard, you would have to go pure magic to use those gauntlets, and the defensive benefits are just not that great. So they're cheap, but I wouldn't worry about it. Amulet of Defense +5, though, is very solid. That's 5 straight up to your defense value. This early in the game, that's a very good boon, and it's fairly cheap. So one of the good things about this store is he will offer you items for a decent price, and he will also offer you a decent price for your items. So let's see, you got a Mithril Girdle, that's 1 more protection value. Girdle of Weight. I don't know what that does. I want to say that increases your actual weight. Oh, Wand of Knocking. For 36 gold, that's really good. It probably doesn't have any charges at that price, but knocking opens locked doors and untraps them for you at the same time. Very good. So he doesn't have much that's worth picking up, but I'm going to pick up that Amulet of Defense. And I'm going to pick up this sword too, just to have another decent backup weapon. Then I'm going to drop a bunch of stuff for him. Actually, no, I'm not going to do it yet. I'm going to go ahead and just buy these. And then down here is a church kind of area. You got a priest and a lawful altar. What I'm going to do with this altar is drop all the stuff that I would potentially want to put on. So, this cap, the scale mail, this wooden shield. How about these 2 girdles, both of these pairs of boots? None of the amulets. Well, let's go ahead and all of the amulets maybe. Did I ever pick up a potion of water? How about that? I didn't, unfortunately. If I did, I could bless a scroll. Well, I could bless the water and then bless a scroll of identify, and that would identify all of my items. We'll get some water eventually, I'm sure. But for now, let's go ahead and just drop all of these amulets, except for the one that I just bought, because I already know what it is. And the wooden ring. I'm not even going to bother with the iron ring, because you can drop the iron ring and the altar might tell you that it's not cursed, but then when you put it on, it will still curse, and it could be a ring of doom or who knows what. So I'm not even going to bother with that. I'll just sell it and see how much I get offered for it. The glass wand is a wand of light. I'm not going to bother with any of the wands, actually. You can just zap those to figure out what they are. And then I'm also not going to worry about these scrolls or the herbs. I know that they're going to be cursed. So, dropped all of those. And let's pick them back up. We got a blessed metal cap, uncursed. We got a bunch of uncursed stuff, so that's good so far. This blessed bleak amulet is getting me excited. This is one of the ones I was saying could be very rare. It being blessed automatically also seems to indicate that it has a better chance of maybe being an amulet of life-saving. A very important item for more later in the game that I'll talk about eventually, I'm sure, in this series. So now we have a bunch of stuff to try on. Have a blessed metal cap. Yep. No more protection, but it is blessed. That makes it harder for it to get broken. I'm not going to put that blessed bleak amulet on. I am going to put on, let's see about the leather amulet. Okay, some of these amulets will auto-identify when you put them on. Onyx amulet? Nope. Ruby? Pendant of Beauty. Okay, whatever. We can sell that. Splendid necklace. Nope. Electrum amulet. Perseverance. So that's a bonus to willpower. That's pretty good. But I'm going to go with the +5 Amulet of Defense. That's fantastic. Now let's check the scale mail. We had 5 protection with our chainmail. The scale mail is 1 worse protection, but 1 better defense. I just gained 5 defense from an amulet, though, so I'm going to put the chainmail back on. What else do we have here? Rings. I can go ahead and put on the ring of fire resistance. I'm not going to put on the iron ring, though. What about the shield? Same protection there. Any other gauntlets? No. I'll go ahead and put the thick gauntlets back on. And, oh, I've got a couple girdles here. Metal girdle. Let's try on the leather girdle. No protection there. That's a mithril girdle, though, and so that's an extra point of protection. That's nice. Ah, boots. Uncursed light boots. No protection there. Uncursed leather boots. 3 defense, but no protection. That's interesting. What are we at now? 18 protection. I am going to... You see, if I had taken the steel skin talent, we would have 20 protection by level 10. I'm going to stick with what we've got. 22 defense and 18 protection seems good. So now I'm going to sell a bunch of stuff. Drop, press 9 to select multiple things. And I am going to keep the metal cap and the scale mail as backup, but I'm going to sell these wooden shields, these gloves. I'm going to keep that metal girdle as a backup, but I'm going to sell that. I'm going to sell those light boots. And let's see, the cursed pearl necklace you can have, the pendant of beauty you can have. Amulet of perseverance. I feel like I'm never going to use that, so let's go ahead and sell it. Dagger and broadsword you can have. Quarterstaffs you can have. Short bow you can have. And so I picked up an artifact before called the Sea. That is the strange item, and it will duplicate itself and just over and over again, and you can sell the duplicates. So that's awesome. I still have the base strange item right here. So let's go ahead and sell the heap of 5. Let's sell the loot. Let's see what he'll offer me for the iron ring. And we will keep everything else but these 2 gems. So, as you can see, 49 just for a pair of gloves. That's a good deal. Okay, 99 for that. 214 for the broadsword. That might be a decent broadsword. I'll keep that and just check it. Wow, 759 for that quarterstaff. We're definitely going to check on that. 462, we'll check on that as well. 148 for the short bow. I'll check on that. 1,650 for the strange items, though. 412 for the iron ring. So that's probably not a cursed bad ring. I'll keep that. And over 1,000 for the blue gem. So we just made close to 4,000 gold with that transaction, and there's still plenty to sell. So let's check out that ring. It might not auto-identify, and it did not. It's not cursed. It might be a ring of damage. Whoops. Let me check. Tactics, normal. Our damage is 1d6 plus 11 right now. If I put on the iron ring... no. So I don't know what that actually is. Let's go ahead and take off the mace and the shield, though, and check out the quarterstaffs. Staff of Beauty, plus 7 appearance. Wow. That'll fetch a decent price. And where's the other one? Quarterstaff of Parting Water. I mean, I assume that does what it sounds like, but I've never seen that item before. That could be useful for something that will be coming up in a few levels. So I will keep that one. In case I don't find something else. Now I'm going to, let's see. In combat we have reached 6 with maces and flails. We have 4 in axes. I'm going to switch over to the sword. Just to build sword skill some. Put the wooden shield back on. And what else? Was there anything else that I wanted to... Oh, the broadsword. Whoops, I accidentally took off my armor. the broadsword is, wow, just a regular old broadsword. He's offering me over 200 gold pieces for that, I think he was. So we'll use the mithril longsword. I'll definitely sell that broadsword. The staff of beauty. What about these short bows here? B, that's +2 to hit, and C is +3 to hit. Awesome. And then I think that's just about it. We'll sell the other stuff. Yep. Broadsword. And Staff of Beauty. And that short bow. I'll keep E as a backup. And make a little bit of extra cash here. Now we have over 5,000 gold. So also in Dwarf Town, I'm going to give you guys a brief overview here before I bring this chapter to a close. And then I'll come right back with another chapter. Over here is a good place to stash things if you have a way of protecting it. There are wands that create doors, and so you can leave a stash here, create a door. It's also ideal if you have a key to lock the door, and then you can just come back, drop a bunch of stuff here so you don't have to carry it around, pick it up whenever you need it, and lock the door again. Down there's the altar, which I will be interacting with here again in just a moment. In here, everything's all closed off, you see. This is a path to walk, but this is nothing. But something is in here. And we'll get to that later. This is where the dwarf chieftain hangs out. The ancient dwarf rumbles in a coarse voice.
Well met, Ziegander. My name is Thrunda, and I am the elder of this humble settlement.
Cool. And you can talk to him, and if he'll ask you what you want to talk about, and if you type quest, he has a whole line of quests that I suggest you definitely do. I'll go ahead and show you the first of them. Good to see a hero. What do you want to talk about? Type in quest. I want you to slay a troll to prove your valor. Find it somewhere and then kill it. Doesn't even matter where it is. But a good place to do this is the big room, despite how dangerous it is. Over here is a dude that will train your stats up for you. You have to pay him gold. And he will train everything but appearance, I think, and mana. Let's see. Yeah, appearance and mana. Obviously, you can't train appearance unless he's teaching you makeup, but he doesn't do that, I guess. He also doesn't increase ability scores beyond, I think, 20 or maybe 25. But the higher the skill is, the more gold it's going to take for him to train it to increase it. And don't expect it to increase immediately, no matter how much gold you throw at it. We will probably put him to use at some point, but not right now. I have a better use for our gold right now. So if you keep wandering over here to the right, we have... Down here is a pub, the Green Griffin Inn, and this guy with the golden helmet is important after doing a quest later. He will give us some important skills. Over here is a blacksmith's forge, but no anvil. He's carrying an anvil, and he can teach you smithing. I believe I already know smithing. I do. Unfortunately, you need an anvil and a forge to perform any smithing. Anvils can be randomly dropped, but they're not common at all. The only 2 guaranteed anvils in the game are from smiths like that. You have to kill them. They're incredibly tough. So if you keep going over here, you'll notice there are stairs down. You can continue further into the Caves of Chaos. I do not recommend it at this time. The Dwarf Chieftain Thrundar will ask you to go a little bit deeper into the caves as a mission, and it's pretty tough. I wouldn't do it until you're roughly level 13, 14, 15. It kind of depends. Something also happens when you reach level 13 that I'll talk about. Yikes, we're hungry and we're out of food, and we've just got a bunch of herbs. Luckily, he is selling a little bit of food in here, so we're going to want to buy that. But then we've got to get out of here as fast as we can. And that's going to be a big issue. Herbs will give you a tiny amount of satiation, but it's not... it may not be enough to tide us over, and we don't even know what any of these herbs do, what any of them are. Some of them can be acid damage. Some of them can reduce our stats. It could be a problem. So we'll rely on those as a last resort. But before I bring this episode to a close, I'm going to go down to this altar. And another thing you can do on altars is make offerings. So if you're standing on the altar and you press Shift O, you can sacrifice items onto the altar to improve your piety with your deity. You can sacrifice gold to any deity, and I don't really have a use for my gold right now, so I'm going to actually go ahead and make a fairly decent offering. I'm going to offer him 3,062 gold pieces. And you'll get a message. The gold pieces are consumed. Morrodwin seems to be very pleased with you. You feel that Morrodwin deeply appreciates your gift. So dwarf deities also appreciate gold more than normal deities. And what that has done is it's increased my piety with him. Every time I drop an item on the altar to see if it's cursed or uncursed, that costs a little bit of piety. And before, when I prayed to get a full heal, that also cost piety. So I want to make sure every time I go to Dwarf Town, I always sacrifice some amount of gold to the deity just to keep my piety levels up and running. I'm going to end this episode for now, and then I'll be right back with the next one. I'll see you guys next time, where we will go after the troll that Thrundar asked us to kill. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and have a good one.